the said definition, and that they make change to the body and mental. It's not efficient, and it's cause inconvenient when you have to visit somewhere to inject the hormone. And I'm gonna give 3 factors between the affirmative team and our team. First is the economic issues. So it can if we instead of legalize chemical castration, we should rehabilitate them so it can reduce the effect of crime in the future. If we can ensure that they will not commit the child sex crimes and more, but rehabilitate can ensure that they will be a good citizen. It's better than just ensure that they're not gonna be a child sex crime. Then the second factor is society, the acceptance. It's better than release a man who cause fear to people. Then we can release a man who we already ensure not to commit sexual crime again. And with the third factor is the moral. We should treat refusal. We should treat the crime with love instead of treat them or change their body and their minds. So again, I want to reconfirm that we shouldn't legalize chemical castration to punish child sex crimes. Thank you.
I would like to interview the red light speech from the opposite team. Opposite team.
All right.
You have 4 minutes.
So, and I'm here for the reply speech. Now, first of all, I'd like to reconfirm a motion that we believe we should not legalize chemical castration in order to punish child sex criminals. So, we have to seem to have a misunderstanding between the definition at the beginning. And I would like to reconfirm the definition as it being chemical castration is using chemical compounds, and it's not just one day and it's not just a one-way trip, because you have to go and inject hormones daily or weekly, and it's a process. As long as you are still injecting the hormones, you will have a reduced sexual desire for anything around you, and that is how this chemically castration works. Now, you can easily realize that as soon as the offender stops taking the hormones or stop taking any chemical compounds that he's subjected to, he will again have sexual desire with children or even other people. So it is not really not an inefficient way to treat criminals, because they can and might have a really high chance to commit crime again, especially sex crimes. I also want to rebut about the affirmative team claiming of bias of transgender people. In that case, I was comparing between a case of a man who tried to rebalance his hormone level. Now, this is a criminal who takes hormones, who takes female hormones, is a kind of chemical castration, and this, in this case, the man tried to rebalance his hormones by taking other hormones. So this is not targeting transgender people. I would like to reinforce our ideas in some of our case. Now, me as the first person has stated about the act and the changes to the body and mental health of the offender when taking this kind of treatment. And I will give an example similar as Alan Turing, a famous scientist in the Second World War, and he decoded the enigma which helps the Allies to end the Second World War. And he was also subjected to chemical castration and later suicide as an example for the devastating effects on the offender. Also, I stated about the inconvenience and how inefficient it is to treat criminals in this way. our second speaker talked about the inefficient way and also about the human rights and human law. As the person who summed up this debate, I'm here to give you guys the verdict and final choice of our team, as we strongly believe that we should not legalize chemical castration in order to treat sex crime criminals. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce the last speakers of this debate to come to the podium. You have 4 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I want to summarize all of my team ideas. First of all, if you eliminate this sexual part, it's going to diminish the incentive to commit sexual crimes, because liberty is a tendency, and whenever they can, they won't have their sexual part to commit that anymore. It will reduce their incentive to do so. Second, the prison already have too many prisoners, and if this team said that you are going to build more floors, but it's going to even cost more, because the prison is not small, and you build more, it's just going to cost more. And third, if after releasing a criminals after chemical castration is not different from releasing them after prison, because you take the example of Levan Lue. If after he was released out of prison, and people are even afraid more of him, and they push him into isolation more, and there is a likelihood that he's going to commit it more, and even the family, they got to go to the prison to visit that criminal, and they got very ashamed, and the neighbors, they will have many prejudices against that family, and so that the other members of the family will get affected with that criminals too. Next, they won't have sexual partner after they got chemical in, after they got lost of that sexual part, and it is kind of a punishment for them, because sex partner is part of a life, and if you don't have a sex partner, it's kind of a psychological punishment to you. And finally, this castration is conducted by professionals, and it will reduce the chances that they are going to be affected physically, and you cannot run away from that injection, because even it is conducted in many weeks, you cannot run away from it. For example, people they are not going to be put into prison, but they allowed to be on probation, then the government and the officials will have some way to still keep track of them. So finally, I just want to emphasize that the legalization of this of chemical castration is going to be helpful for not only the child, but the government and the society itself, since the children, they are too small, and they are not going to be mentally strong enough to attend those lengthy trials, and I believe that our team deserves the right to win. Okay.